Hello, hello, YouTube. Happy Sunday, everyone. I'll be watching some football later. Topic of this subject today on my brain is burning bridges and getting blackballed. Um, I'm going to start kind of backwards with this and talk about getting blackballed. So, as a command sergeant major, um, I displayed a backbone at a gathering we had. It was all E9s in the room, and oh my gosh, did that open the political can of worms? I'm off in the break area later on, and some of my peers and stuff who didn't know me, you could tell they were glad I spoke up, but they were worried, right? They were worried about the fallout, so to speak. Basically, it was my higher echelon NCO support channel. They're wanting to micromanage fitness for us, among a couple other things. And I just spoke up asking questions, right? And I gave my opinion about the fitness. Uh, and I guess I really rubbed the higher command sergeant major wrong in the end. I have no regrets whatsoever about it. But anyway, another CSM brought up being blackballed. Okay, so what that means is that person that you rubbed the wrong way goes and tells their friends or whoever supports them and buys into them, basically to never hire me. Tells a story to all that they hate me, right? No regrets whatsoever, because if you're gonna judge me based off someone else's opinion, I've got a not so good opinion about you now as well, and I probably don't even want to work for you, to be honest. So that was one essence where I probably did get blackballed. Actually proud of it, to be honest. And then other times, it's starting to make me think about getting blackballed. And I've probably been blackballed a few times throughout my career. Another time would have been my first guard unit. Okay, so my first guard unit in the early '90s, it was infantry and all hoo and two bags full and all that. And the Kool-Aid was pretty thick at times, if you can understand what I'm saying. So I would complain a lot. And I look back at those first 6 years of my service, and my attitude really quite sucked toward the latter end of that contract. Um, some of it I'm proud of, some of it I'm not so proud of, and honestly, I would tell you, attitude means a lot. Your attitude and how you respond and deal with things means an extreme amount. And what I would tell you is try to be positive, try to stay positive, try to focus on the next goal versus dwelling on what's going on or the past that's not so positive. And so I left that unit. I learned a lot there. I learned a lot of training, a lot of field exercise stuff. But what I didn't appreciate was there was some wrongdoing going on. There was some good old boy stuff, some clicky stuff. I've never been much of a clique person, and as I look back, I've pretty much been more of a lone wolf, to be honest. And I don't know what it is. I've always kind of been coined a nice guy, also by some others, and nice guy to a fault at times. And I've tried to sharpen my edges a little bit, be a little more on the edge, so you don't get taken advantage of being a nice guy. So anyway, I know I got blackballed then because I was listed as excess on the unit man report, and I was still a specialist. They never promoted me despite sending me to PLDC back then. And then I go on to my other guard units, and I think I maybe it blackballs the wrong term, but towards the end of my guard stint period, I was a staff sergeant, and I watched another staff sergeant go through delay in promotion to sergeant first class, and this staff sergeant was, I felt, more squared away than I was. Okay, so I'm like, if they're treating him that way, what's that mean for Bill? So I did annoy some people to get a conditional release and go to the Army Reserve. But I think I'd already probably been blackballed or boycotted from being promoted and moved up prior to that, because I jumped through some hoops. There's a lot of carrot dangling back then, and I bit the carrots and jumped through the hoops to try and get promoted, and it didn't work out. It wasn't working out, and they wanted me to jump through some more hoops, and I'm like, well, if I got to jump through those hoops, I might as well go over here to the Army Reserve, be a drill sergeant, because I can go jump through hoops that are more of a guarantee. Okay, I already know that in talking with some folks. So that was probably instance number 2 where I felt blackballed as I look back. So brings me to burning a bridge. All right, I guess I asked a question yesterday. You know, what do I recommend with burning bridges? Well, I've been known to burn some bridges, but I would tell you it's a small world. Okay, it's a small world, and I never planned on being a CSM. I planned on retiring out on E8. Well, then I did become a CSM, and I didn't know a lot of people, and some of the people I know, I'm pretty sure that they probably may not have fond memories of our interaction. Okay, and I'm okay with that, because as long as I'm leading by example and trying to do what's right for my soldiers, I got no regrets. Okay. But there is, you do need to think about emotional intelligence sometimes. And that's, am I the right person? Is it the right time? And does it need to be said now? Okay. Does it need to be said? I usually go off more of, does it need to be said? And if I think it needs to be said, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to wait on someone else. But that can burn bridges, that can rub people wrong. So when I became a first sergeant, I had an S3 trying to micromanage my unit, my training schedule per se. And I tried diplomatic approach at first to get them out of my business, and it didn't work. They were very passionate about the unit, very passionate about what they did. They've been there a while. They just didn't understand that they were really micromanaging my effort and my establishment of being the first sergeant for my company. Now, a lot of times when you fight the good fight, it causes more work upon you. Those who fight, they get rewarded with more work. So understand that. But I've never been lazy when it comes to, rolling my sleeves up and getting after it. So won the argument. But I definitely burned a bridge there. I torched it. I torched the bridge with that S3. That S3 was not going to do anything for me from that day forward, and that was okay with me because I figured it out and we made it. We got there. We got where I wanted to be. It cost more work on me, but that's okay. I'm here to tell about it. So there are times where you'll burn bridges. I burned a bridge once with logistics, with the supply. Okay, they weren't getting us what we needed equipment-wise, and it wasn't going well, and so I went off. Okay, and I'm pretty sure I burnt that bridge, burnt that relationship. Again, no regrets, but I did learn from that. I don't know that I would have done that one the same way again. Okay, try the diplomatic approach as much as possible. Try different avenues. Okay, don't always go up. Don't always just look one way. Branch out. Hey, maybe there's another staff member that you identify better with, get along better with, that can, broadside and get traction on that topic you're talking about. And I learned that along the way as a first sergeant, especially too. I learned to start leveraging my my XO at the time. Okay, and they were able to get necessary traction with hire, because I didn't always, I've always been pretty matter of fact, pretty direct. And that just doesn't go well. We live in a world of gray, whether we like it or not. And, a lot of times you got to start out being personable, get more bees with honey, so to speak, to get what you're after. So that's kind of the burning bridges perspective. Would I burn a bridge again? Yeah, absolutely I would. But I would try to make sure it's a bridge I don't need to pass. Try to always look through the conversation. Look through it to the outcome. What are the give yourself 3 courses of action. Try to give yourself 3 courses of action, 3 anticipated outcomes from your behavior towards the subject. All right. But if nothing's working, sometimes you just got to torch that bridge, man. You got to go over it, around it, to the next person, to get done what needs to be done. Don't give up. We can never quit. We can never quit until we are done and can take the uniform off, hang our head, hold our head high, walk out the door. Okay, we're done. But as long as we're wearing the uniform, you're working wherever you're working, we can't quit. All right. You can take a break. Everybody has a bad day. Recock, recheck, reload. and adjust fire and try a different way tomorrow. All right, but I wanted to share that with you: the blackballing, burning a bridge. Okay, always have an exit plan. Always have an exit plan. See, I knew I was going to retire. A lot of the CSMs, everybody's looking for that next position, or they're retiring, and many don't want to accept retiring, and that's fine. That's fine. That's them. I was actually willing to accept retiring, and I have no shame in doing so. I know it gets political. I know the world is political. Private sector is political, but the Army is salary too. Okay, so the hours, don't just sometimes are very long and ongoing. So I hope this video helps you deciding, making decisions moving forward. And please give a thumbs up and a comment below and subscribe if you would. Let me know what you think. Out here.